Good evening, folks, and welcome to the official ARK community. This is Fortunate coming at you. We are now sitting on November 27th, 2022, which means our 27th podcast. We are very happy to be here with you again, just like we are every single night. Um, I'm going to pass the floor over to our wonderful founder, Mr. Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction. Fortunate, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is ARK. This is the ARK Podcast, number 27. We are very excited. We've had a very productive weekend here with the coders, getting everything ready as on the 28th. Okay, starting tomorrow, we are going to start getting folks to claim their NFTs. We still have, I believe, almost 270 NFTs available at the 475 price before launch. So that's still going, guys. If you want to go ahead and participate, we got some friends that didn't have time to get in. Make sure to go ahead and take advantage of that, guys. And look, we're poised. We're going to be doing a staggered launch schedule that we're going to, put a full announcement and banner, and we're going to discuss a bit tonight. But we're having here. We got a great guest from the DGen Protocol. We were over there last night. Mr. Engine invited us over, and we had a great conversation with those guys. If you haven't checked their Telegram, please do join. They've been around almost 5 years, and are some of the most sophisticated, experienced DeFi investors in the space. And they also do a podcast every day at 4:20 p.m. Eastern. That's Pacific Standard Time. So Engine was having some questions, and do you want to go ahead and ask the question again, Engine? Or Engine Gold? I hope I'm saying it correctly, brother.
Yeah, I was asking about the referrals and stuff like that, like what's going on with the referral system and how it was working. Because like I say, I'm not really a big team builder. So you're telling me that for someone who's not really a good team builder to get more benefit out of the ecosystem, maybe looking at the silver NFT. Now that's what kind of you're talking to me about.
Absolutely. And I'll let Brett Norden here, our engineer of the whole system, step up, and he could really get into a lot of detail. Brett, come and join us.
Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, thanks for the question, Engine. And yeah, even if you're not a team builder, there's still some advantages to holding the silver NFT. We really look at the NFT as being a separate investment in the protocol. There are some benefits to getting referral rewards, and with the silver NFT, you would get 3 levels of referral rewards. So you'd get all your directs, which would pay 5% every time somebody makes a deposit in your first level. But then you'd also get compounding rewards down to the 3 levels. So if you have, a handful of directs and they, start to fill out a little bit and refer a few people underneath them, you would definitely start to see a benefit and receiving those referral rewards. But the second piece I would highlight is that the legacy NFTs also have their own separate rewards pool. And right now that rewards pool is being fed by 20% of the capital that's used to purchase the NFTs goes into that referral rewards pool. And then also it's getting fed by 1.5% of all the buys and sells from the ecosystem that come through. So anytime anyone makes a purchase or a sell of ARK, then 1.5% of that transaction goes into that rewards pool. So it's going to be growing. And in the future, we'll also add more revenue streams to that. So we can add a portion of the external revenue sources that we're going to be generating from those outside investments will flow into that rewards pool. And then as we expand, add new products, things like that, we're going to definitely take care of those legacy NFT holders through that rewards system.
And so, okay, the silver gets 1%. Now, what about the gold and the platinum?
So it's
what percentage of that do they get from the pool?
So the pool is just made up of all of the different legacy NFT holders. So it's really just dependent. It's basically the percentage of the percent ownership that you have in that pool at that any given time. So it really depends on how many NFTs are sold.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would have to be a calculation we do. Obviously, on the dashboard of the legacy NFTs, we're going to publish the information about how many have been sold, your percent ownership of the pool, the size of the pool, and those kind of things. So you'll be able to, monitor that that rewards pool and see your daily payouts. We will pay out the reward every 24 hours in BUSD. So it's a BUSD. There's no compounding or anything like that.
Oh,
You just
wow.
claim it back to your
Okay.
wallet. Yep.
Oh, nice,
And then
nice. So
yeah, and then also with the silver, you get a little more flexible compounding and withdrawal ratio, so you can compound a little more often with the silver, and that graduates up as well as you go from silver to gold to platinum. You're able to compound more often than withdraw. You still have to withdraw, so your NDV will decay, but it will decay slower. So you'll be able to maintain your 2% a little bit longer than without having the silver. The legacy NFTs are transferable. So after you hit your max payout of 80,000 with that wallet, you can transfer it to your next wallet and continue receiving the benefits of that legacy NFT. So there's no expiration.
so that's
There's
80,000 ARK tokens.
Correct. Yeah. When your wallet hits the max payout of 80,000, then you can unlock the legacy NFT and then move it to another wallet, so that it'll just keep earning rewards, and then it'll have benefits in that other wallet as far as the CWR limits, your DAO votes, those kind of things. So with every silver, you get one DAO vote. With a platinum, you would get up to 10. But you can also own multiple silvers as well. So if you had a multi-wallet strategy and you want to take advantage of the silver in each of those wallets, you could buy multiple silver NFTs. So there's
Okay.
only 3,000 silver NFTs available.
And to buy ARK, the max we could buy is like 4,000 ARK. Is the total we could like airdrop to ourselves or bring into the system or
Correct. Yep.
okay,
Your
okay.
post tax deposit of 4,000. That would be including airdrops too.
Okay, and it's 80,000 max. Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot of compounding and team building to get to max.
Yeah. Depending if you have team building already in mind, that could happen, relatively quickly. We're not, compounding to max wallet like we've discussed, but you can
Yeah.
still get there. You can still get there pretty quick. So, what we're all about is getting that initial ROI back, and then expanding the investment as much as you feel comfortable after that point once you're taking profits.
Now, with the 50 board members who get the referrals from the people who do not have referrals, now will those 50 will they airdrop the people underneath them? Or
They could, it's up to them. So the airdrop's still a manual process. We'll have the option of being able to do it in bulk, but it's just how they manage their team.
okay,
So
So, but
some
like,
people
will they
use
be
it.
out there doing their team? Or are they just going to kind of like stay in the back and just kind of just,
Oh,
let the community build the team for them? You know what I
well,
mean?
we hope not. Yeah, we hope that those syndicate leaders are, they're all team builders. They were selected because they were, team builders in other projects. So
Okay.
yeah, I would hope that they're out actively bringing in new investors, and then also, rewarding those in their downlines that are doing the same. Different people have different reasons for airdropping, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
up to them as a team leader how they incentivize their groups. Some people do it like, to reward people that are getting referrals, so they airdrop them more often because then they're growing their network, and
Yeah.
feeding their uplines. So they want to incentivize that. Other people just do it, as a bulk thing. They just spread it across all of their directs and their downlines, but it's really up to that team leader how they do it.
Can I just jump in there? With me, I'm building the teams, as you know, and I'll be doing bulk airdrops to everyone underneath me. If that helps
Okay.
answer a question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
Like, I'm just kind of wondering, are they going to be like team leaders or team builders? Or are they just going to, just like they like, oh, they're just going to just be in the back end? I mean, it's completely up to them. Some investors they want to, they're just investors. They're not really worried about building teams like that. But no, it'd be nice because I'm sure a lot of people who do not have a referral are going to get underneath them, and they're like, man, I might just set up an account underneath them just to see what kind of airdrops they're gonna give.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We went away from that. We went away. There's some other protocols that kind of have those teams set up, and then the teams were like, "Hey, come over to our team, and we'll airdrop you, 10
Yeah.
ARK or whatever it might be to
Yeah.
incentivize people to jump on the team." But I personally didn't like that very much because everyone's going to find out about ARK from somewhere else, and we want to reward those people that are out promoting it and people to stay true
Yeah.
to the refer that they originally found, not the shiny new one that they found when they went to the website and they go, oh, well, they'll offer me 11 ARK over here versus 10, so I'm gonna go and there was a lot of that going on, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to just keep it pure and simple, and to reward the people that are out, promoting and taking care of their communities. And everyone's going to hear of it from somewhere else. We're not doing, the PooCoin ads and all the traditional
Yeah. Waste of
crypto
money. Yeah.
channels. So these people are all coming from referrals from somewhere, or just, within the community, they're part of a Telegram group. Maybe somebody mentions it in there. We want to take care of that person that's promoting it in a positive way, and not, circumvent that somehow.
Okay. Yeah. We're getting close. We were getting closer.
Was there anyone else
Oh,
that had any more questions about the legacy NFTs or team building or strategies, things like that?
I guess I got another question then.
Okay,
I mean,
perfect.
feel free to interrupt me anytime you guys want, guys. Now on your, I guess it's not auto compounding, but it's an auto type of compounding feature. Now,
Yeah.
now on something like that, because I understand you have to. Can you break that down? Like, what would be the best thing if, say, I got one person on my team? What would be my best auto compound type of platform to get to stay positive as long as possible, or saying to
Yeah,
stay
to stay positive. You just want to compound as much. So in there would be a CWR of 1.33, which is basically like a four compounds per week strategy and a 3 withdraw. That would be one of the schedules that you could select when you're doing. We call it auto allocation, but it's auto compounding, whatever you want to call it. And then what that will do is it will figure out the percentage of the compound and the percentage of the withdraw every day in order to be able to allocate 100% of your available rewards. And it'll just happen automatically every 24 hours. So you won't have to worry.
and
At some point, you may want to, intervene and take a look at your account and manage it at some point. Obviously you don't want to dump, 10 BNB in there and just forget about it. So
yeah. Is there a 50-50 split or 25-75 or the same?
Yeah, there's like a 1-to-1. So if you were gonna compound 50% of the time and withdraw 50% of the time, then that would be a 1-to-1 strategy. That would be 50%, 50%.
Is
And that's
that
a
the one
real
you think's the best, or do you think the 3-day claim and the 4-day compound's better?
it just depends on if you want to grow your account a little faster. Let's say you have a smaller deposit amount, then
Okay.
you'd want to compound a little bit more than you'd be withdrawing. The 1-to-one's more balanced and you're going to ROI faster, but your account's going to grow a little bit slower. So it's just a trade-off,
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to see what these other people's strategies are going to be because,
yeah, it'll be. Have you messed around with the calculator yet? Kelly Snook's calculator?
Not really. I'm not really quite sure what the numbers would be. I guess. Can you post it in the chat? And I'll click it from there.
One of the admins, I'm sure, has that. There's a. Yeah, I think she. Yeah, I think someone. Yep, there it is. Boom.
It's in the main chat.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, now I'm looking at this. Okay, now, are you looking at it? So maybe we can go through it together. I'm not sure if you guys have the screen up, stuff like that. But
And Gold,
Can
it would be very helpful if you watch the AMA that we had, like in which we had Kelly explain the calculator and also discuss
I
like
want to say I seen it yesterday.
oh yeah, great.
Okay, I don't want to say I seen it yesterday, but yeah. Then I talked to you guys in the what's called live stream, so kind of got sidetracked. But I'll definitely go through this. Starting price day one, is it going to be $10? I'm
That's
just looking
right,
at the
man.
calculator.
Go for it.
I'm just looking at the calculator. Like, starting price day one, $10. Wait. Is it going to be $10?
We'll sell it to you for $10.
$10. I'm gonna mess around with these numbers, see what happens.
Yeah, we also Kelly also did a best practices document. It's kind of fun. Even if you've been around the block with drip and the other protocols, it's kind of, I think, a good document to get your mindset around the investment and kind of see where we're coming from as well. And that's in the white paper. I think maybe S23 you could drop that link too. I know we've got that one hotkeyed in.
Already did.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's practice. Okay, let's look at this one too. All right. Okay, so 101 is the fastest, of course. So
Who else has another question or comment?
Hey, Atlas.
Atlas.
You had,
Yes, sir.
ENJ's view in the best practices. You had mentioned when the first came on about being able to go in and claim the NFT tokens. Did you say that was going to be tomorrow, or when did you say that was? Do you have any update on the timelines for the getting the NFTs and the bonds and all that stuff as well?
Yeah, look, that's going to be starting tomorrow. We haven't released exactly the time. I know that everything is already prepared, but we're going to be, pinning it over here and making a banner with the rest of the schedule that I was telling you about. And if you don't mind, I'll go over that right now. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the 28th. So you guys are going to be able to deposit those NFTs. Then on December 2nd, we're going to be launching the token contract, the bond contract, the LP to be able to get your reward levels, and also the legacy NFT contracts. So we're going to have everybody go ahead and start buying those, getting those also, set up for crediting your ARK Vault, and tokens into the ARK Vault, and your bond LP as well as your legacy. And on December 5th, we're going to put our swap contract, which is really, the brains that's handling all of the liquidity control and the purchases, as you're not going to go through PancakeSwap, you're going to go through us. That's going to be put out on the 5th. And then December 9th, we're going to have the vault contract. So that's going to complete the whole system. And that's to make sure that everybody really is well situated. They've been able to get in the system where they're supposed to be with their team, if they're with the team, or whether they are alone, but have that bond LP credited to their account, also the legacy NFT contracts credited to the account. so that when we go ahead and the system is completely active in these stages, the final sequence of the vault contracts, everyone's receiving their deposits if they're getting referrals at 5%, and everything starts, everyone starts earning. So we're staggering out, pretty much it's 1 week more that you're looking at from our target of December 2nd. It's just for safety and making sure that everybody's organized, which is really important. We don't want any folks saying, "Oh man, I got left behind. I'm having an issue with the deposit of the bond or anything." So this way, we'll be able to make sure that absolutely everything is perfect. I hope that answers your question, brother.
Yeah, and that's what we all want. Safe, secure, everything's flawless, and so far everything else has been that way, and I foresee this as well. So, sounds great, man.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it has to be. You can't you can't mess this up. This is very important to all of our investors, and another opportunity for our team to shine and just build more confidence into the team, into the whole system, and that the investors are just seeing the quality of everything that we're putting out there, and nobody's running around last minute. That we've seen that happen in the space. So just kind of the way we did with our private and public presale, everything was working extremely smooth. The guys are here, looking at every detail, and everybody had a positive experience. So for launch, it has to be that way. We don't want to just rush into something that if we do it the way we did, every week we spaced out those pre-sales, we believe we'll have a fantastic result.
That's great.
Let's get this crypto.
That's what the goal is. I've got a friend of mine that I invited on tonight, Hadi. He's new to crypto, but he is a ARK investor. I walked him through it last night over the phone, and I invited him tonight. And also, he's going to help out with the white paper and some of the Arabic language communities that we want to reach out to. And I invited him here tonight to the thing. So he's brand new to all this. So I'm glad he took a step forward and looked into the ARK, made a good decision.
Oh man, thank you so much for bringing him here. And sir, it's a pleasure to have you over here. Florida Realtor is somebody that we respect a lot, and such a wonderful person to really have as an investor, and also he's taking a hands-on role here, working with us and helping us to inform folks, answer a lot of questions. It can seem a bit complex and overwhelming at the beginning, and that just goes for really ROI dApps. Our goal here is to really simplify it. But it is a pleasure to meet you, sir. And if you would like to say hi, you're able to do so. If you prefer not to, or you're not in a position to speak at the moment, just receive our welcome. I see that Mr. Hadi's answering here. Okay, it's not audio problem. No worries, Hadi. And we look forward to working with you on the Arabic side. What is our current condition, Mr. S23? You are the man in charge, manning all of the international groups, the G30, as we call them here. What's happening in our Arabic side of things, and have you had the pleasure yet of talking with Mr. Hadi?
Thank you, Atlas. We've spoken just before the recording started. FL Realtor made a small introduction, and we are in the process of creating the Arabian group. So this is, although we tend to create groups by countries, this is a very large area that the people would benefit more if we went by language. So my thoughts from the start were to create an Arabic community, and this is actually the perfect timing. And thank you for for bringing over Hadi.
Oh, hello.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, go ahead,
I
Hadi.
thank you, sir. I hope you can hear me now. Okay, as Mr. Florida realtor mentioned, good friend of mine, Mr. Shannon, I will be. I'm willing to support and help any way, shape, or form to introduce the Middle East region, the whole Middle East region, and North Africa and the Gulf states to the project. So whatever may be required to do, we'll do it at best to make the project grow and to benefit the whole community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hadi. It's so great to have you aboard, and it's the perfect. And as I was saying, it's a perfect timing because the Arabic community was one of the next ones coming, and I'm pretty sure that you will be a valuable addition to the ARK team, to the ARK family. I rather use family when I'm referring to this team and this project. So we're very happy to have you over, and thank you in advance for your good intentions, and I'm sure for the excellent work that we're going to do. We're going to be working closely on that community, growing it. So many countries, so many people that will be very happy to enter our family, and we're going to make sure that it's going to be done in a perfect way, and we get the best results. Thank you.
Thank you also for me, Hadi.
Yeah, I just wanna give credit to where it's due. Mr. Florida realtor Shannon, he was the one who invited me, explained to me the project, and basically made me like the project and made me like to be involved in this project. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Florida realtor. Thank you.
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure. Glad to help. Glad you're here, Hadi.
Yeah, you're in good hands with Mr. Florida Realtor. Absolutely, man. Somebody that we look up to, and when we have questions here, because we're not just you know crypto investors. There's a lot of folks here that are diversified into equities, real estate. They have their own businesses. So ideally we have right now, I think, a good base of entrepreneurs, business folks, investors, and it's just going to continue to grow. But I remember, I think it was like maybe 10 podcasts ago, we had a gentleman in here who was asking a lot of questions really about what the current situation of the real estate market really is, especially in Florida. Florida Realtor has the pulse of what's actually happening and the experience of going through the cycles before, and gave some great projections, his opinions. And I could tell you something, Hadi, I was taking notes. I have those notes here from like 10 days ago. Fantastic gentleman, and someone that we all appreciate and listen to, because he definitely knows what's happening and where we're going. Let's get this crypto. That's our saying here, Hadi. Let's get this crypto. Is there anybody else that has a question or a comment this evening? We'd love to hear from you.
The comment is, how's it going at this, Brett? What's happening?
Great, man. I just love the work that's being done here. We are getting ready for quite a few AMAs that are going to be happening at other investor groups, and some pretty big things in the works, guys. Because we're going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with so many folks. During this week after launch as well. We want buy pressure. We want to reach our target ranges, and we want to really let the world know. It's a long-term investment. There's a lot of other work that we're doing on our products as well. Remember, our philosophy here is DeFi simplified. So we're on this amazing quest to really go and cross on over from the DeFi space we all know and love, and really bring on board a lot of these folks who are looking for either getting some passive income or replacing their current income. There's a lot of fear out there as folks are facing inflation. Maybe perhaps their job security isn't fully there, and this is not just happening in America or Europe or Asia. It's really on a global scale, and I know, Mr. Z, that you know exactly what we're going through, where we're going.
Oh, absolutely. I understand the climate we're in, the storm we're in, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening in DeFi as well.
Besides ARK.
Besides us, yeah, there's
racist brothers. Let's get it. Bring that
yeah,
alpha, brother.
yeah.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's have a conversation, man. One project that's just getting a bunch of news is one dApp called Matrix Port, right? Matrix Port has been getting funding rounds done of hundreds of millions of dollars. They go through trading $5 billion of USDT per week, and they've they're really you can say establishing themselves. It's an app that you can download, and it's a boring lending sort of platform, but it also allows folks to park their stables and earn really good ROI, up to you can say 8% to 10% daily, 100% APY. So I've been just learning a little bit about them and seeing them in the news. That's pretty interesting. That as I told you, the first thing that needs to improve is the banking protocol, right? So here at ARK, we're providing a dApp that gives people a return on investment, and they're able to see a more longer term effect than sort of 100x. And so it's good, when you have projects that are doing big things like Matrix Port. And there's another, I think you're into nature a little bit. Have you heard of a project by the name of Saving a Single Earth, Single.Earth, and it's Merit token? They just closed a round. They're six. You can say, how much are they into? I think it's a $6 million sort of seed round they've done, and their target is 8 million. And you can say, co-founder did a TED talk, and it's about they're actually using real, you can say, gamma ray technology, and working with people that own farms, and you can say and you can say landowners, farm owners. They're looking to preserve the ecosystem and help with their Merit token. So there's a bunch of really cool stuff happening in DeFi. So it's good to keep an eye on ICOdrops.com if any of you want to check it out. But yeah, DeFi is going through a transition. I mean, the other thing I saw that was pretty interesting was Uniswap had a big spike in volume post FTX, post centralized exchanges, debacles. A day after FTX, Uniswap went in with the trading volume $8 billion. So a bunch of people are moving to non-custodial wallets. They're moving into MetaMask. They're moving into DeFi, and that's encouraging. And DeFi is apparently resolving a bunch of, you can say, TPS issues. So transactions per rate. I think withdrawals was the main issue with SCX and sort of others, that withdrawals get halted. But DeFi is actually given solutions that allow transactions to happen much quicker and much more safely. So that's pretty encouraging that DeFi is starting to get a bunch of money moved away from centralized exchanges. People are getting more educated about it. And yeah, so these are the things that take my sort of interest, and we should continue striving and wait till DeFi goes mainstream. You know what I mean? When DeFi goes mainstream, and I mean, we got glimpses of that when we saw the Super Bowl, right? We had Crypto.com, we had these sort of centralized ones, but soon you're going to see a lot of more decentralized sponsorships for sports, apparels, for teams. and you're gonna see us like advertise and market on higher scale. So DeFi is just about to launch. People, it's quiet right now, but but next year and the year after are gonna be big years for DeFi. So stay, yeah, go on.
Wait, we're not waiting. I want to correct you on that.
Correction
We
now.
are a catalyst. Yeah, we're not waiting. If anything, and if you see some of the stuff that Brett's been cooking up, man, it's anything but waiting. It's actually extremely advanced and aggressive to really get out there. We touched on some of it yesterday on the GGEM protocol, but man, we're crossing over, man. We're not waiting for anybody. We're taking our own initiative, and we want to plant our flag, ARK, and we want to pull up to all the ports on the planet and all the languages in every country, with our proposition for folks to get on here and be able to secure themselves through the storm. But anyway, I'll sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to make that very clear.
I like it. No, it's appreciated. This is why we're doing, that's what we're talking about, this theme, because we at ARK, the followers here, everybody's looking for a good ROI, as everyone's looking for a safe investment. And this is the way to do it. And it's good to look into the thing. The other, you can say, thing on ICO drops, I saw this was a seed round. A bunch of folks I knew got into it. It's called FIRE, the number 5IRE. So FIRE was another project. It's a
not like the Fire Festival.
Yeah, like Fire Festival. Yeah, you see the logo. Yeah, it's like that. They've gone for that theme. So check it out. They received $221 million. And their sort of public sale was 15 December. So that's going to be big. It's a big blockchain, and that we're going to be talking more about in the near future. But yeah, the point is, I think we get so, the team here, we get so involved in making the product that we don't look at what's happening in the outbound sort of ecosystem. And I'm glad I'm able to kind of hint and say, look at this project, look what they're doing here, look at this amazing thing. Like Matrix Port is big. I mean, it's got 290 employees. The app is available in 40 different countries, and people are able to stake their stables and have a return, which is amazing. It's better than any sort of solution out there, in banking terms or centralized terms. So I'm pretty bullish, and we should stay bullish here at ARK and keep learning about dApps and learning where the APIs are earned, and why not start at ARK and build your wallets here and your returns. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Stay bullish.
Absolutely. I mean, people are looking for transparency that these smart contracts are bringing to the table. DeFi is really taking out that middleman from the traditional finance and give us an opportunity to interact with each other in a fair and balanced system, especially when you incorporate the DAOs into these systems. It's really fantastic.
You know what, Atlas? This week, we're going to do a whole conversation on DAO. Decentralized autonomous organizations. I think folks need to understand what a DAO really is and how powerful it is when it comes to, and soon, dude, DAOs are gonna be the way of how sort of companies get bought out, right? They're gonna be crowdfunded. DAOs are things that turn a grocery store like a Farmy into a place where customers become, custodial part owners of the company. So DAOs are something, and we got our own DAO that's going to do amazing stuff. So I'm looking forward to the infrastructure, the construction, the enthusiasm, the sort of active engagement from the crowd. So DAOs are pretty important. When you hear the word DAO, what comes to mind, Atlas?
I think of a voting system where, again, especially with a lot of the FUD, right, regarding elections, and these machines, right, that are supposedly doing everything correctly. I don't know if they are or aren't, but when you go to smart contracts that are transparent and it's visible for all who are participating, so that their vote can be counted and measured effectively. That's really what comes to my mind. But there's so many more layers to it.
Imagine, right? Like this is just my sort of DeFi sort of virtual look at things, right? Like we look at Neom being built, a smart city in Saudi Arabia. We watch Westworld. We sort of inspire, and I think DAOs are going to change the way we do our retail shopping. It's going to change the way we eat. It's going to change things, like you're going to see loads of sort of high street stores or malls, like all these sort of like DeFi based restaurants that build up, and you're going to see sports arenas. Remember, we were talking about this last year, a sports football club by the name of Chelsea had a bid that came from a DAO, which is super
Absolutely.
interesting.
Oh, it's really amazing. But when I meant, when you asked me that, I was really talking about what it means for us here. How we're using the DAO for our voting process. That is completely clear, transparent, and accountable. Just to be clear. But yeah, Chelsea, and there was in America, the Denver football team. There was a DAO that also raised a lot of money to put a bid in for the purchase.
Yeah, it's a technology. If it's the right team, like I think we have an amazing team here. If the right team, sort of work with that technology, they can fundraise, and we're kind of seeing a glimpse to the future. So our DAO is going to build over the next year or so, couple of years. You're a long-term type of thinker, so I'm looking forward to how ARK sort of takes governance with its voting people. The investor now, Atlas, is very different to like the seed round investor in the stock market. The investor now wants to earn ROI for sure and make a good dividend, but then they also want to be involved in the ecosystem that it builds, and that's when voters and voters or the custodial comes in. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to say much. I don't want to take other people's time. I'm sure people have important questions to ask. But yeah, we can continue this conversation throughout tonight.
All right. Is there anybody that has a question or a comment? Feel free to unmute the mic. See, we got Real Zeal in the house. Glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be
here. How are you doing this evening?
Fairly good, although it's I'm in Australia, so it's 11 in the morning.
All right. You're saying it's morning? I couldn't hear you. You sound very low.
Yeah, I'm in Australia, so it's 11 in the morning.
Oh yeah. You're over there with our friend Mark too. He's over in Australia as well. A member of every podcast. Mark is always here with us. We're happy to have him. But thank you for thank you for your confidence in ARK and coming on board, man. It's an honor to have you here.
No problem. Thank you.
Do you have any questions, Real Seal? Anything that you might still be not 100% sure of with the white paper or the launch or your NFTs that you've already? Is there anything that you need clarification on?
No, I don't think so. I'm in a few different groups and been following what has been going on, and we've had different discussions about everything that's happening in ARK. So I think I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm glad to hear that, brother, and glad to have you come and participate. And if there's anything that you learn here throughout these conversations, or even through the chat, and that enables you to answer someone that maybe doesn't understand it or is confused, always much appreciated when folks do that and are able to disseminate information correctly. So thank you.
No problem. More than happy to do that.
Thank you. So Z, man, continue. What else you got in store for us?
Yeah, dude. There's DeFi is something that never sleeps. It's something when the markets are down, when people can't share, like when you look into like trading volumes on all these sorts of dexes, that's my super interest right now because for a while people went for the simpler approach of going for like you can say a Binance or you can say a Coinbase withdrawal or a deposit and basically now that people are getting more educated, I'm just like sort of tracking like you know me, man. I got my eyes on sort of DeFi llama and statistics, and I'm looking at sort of how much volume is going into things like your Lidos and curves, and now Uniswap is doing quite a bit. Even though they've been in the news for the wrong reasons a little bit on how they collect data and stuff, but I think we spoke about that in quite detail that all tech companies have to, have a measured approach when it comes to like improving their services. So they do it through user engagement. But for Uniswap to like start to establish itself in whilst we had the FTX and all that, for Uniswap to put in $6 to $8 billion is pretty amazing, and to average $2 to $3 billion of volume a day is very, very, you can say, optimistic for us. It puts us in a good place in DeFi. So that's something that I keep my eyes on, and yeah, I keep my eyes on the seed rounds. The gossip stuff, like I've stopped to like kind of look into, like we I think we covered quite a bit of what happened with FTX, or we talked about how Crypto.com was sort of got a bit of like exposure, but that all of that stuff is starting to quiet down, and DeFi is sort of resolving a bunch of technical issues. They're the you can say the you can say builder now, building, like we're building the ARK here. Those are the ones that are like building the next infrastructure of banking and how we fundraise things and how we run companies. So when we talk about DAOs and stuff, so yeah, man, the markets overall, you can say we had a pullback, but this is normal. We're in a sort of, I'd say, about 16 to 17K range on Bitcoin, about 11 to $1,300 range on Ethereum. But Binance is holding really well at $308. Binance is something that's bringing a bunch of trading volume and a lot of new users. So people are trusting BNB more. They're trusting BUSD. They're trusting USDT more there. So yeah. Today I'm a bit boring. I haven't got something like really insightful for you, but yeah, pretty good stuff.
It's interesting that a lot of the the FUD is starting to simmer down. I think people get tired of the narrative. We spoke about it the other night, I think in more detail, as this is the 8 to $11 billion, quote unquote, fraud or theft, and then you look at Bernie Madoff with $64 billion, in the
Yeah.
traditional financial world, and it's just like, man, I think they're going a little bit, too far. But look, a lot of people have lost their funds, and I think that's just, again, bringing everything back to smart contracts and understanding that, people need to incorporate this into their businesses, and how they are able to really maintain that transparency is through actual accountability. Not
Absolutely,
just, hey,
absolutely.
trust us.
The way
We stadium.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The way I see it is, man, like I think now the folks, I think like Bernie Madoff was a good example. What's happened is we trust like big personalities, right? And I think soon the DAO and the way DeFi is going to be doing, people will be following other Twitter pages and not entrusting themselves to like such personalities, right? So I'll give you an example. So these are 4 personalities that kind of, shaked up DeFi a little bit. Just pull back on the chart, nothing big, right? Book one, right? Luna, $58 billion of USD and Luna loss. SBF, $10 billion of missing deposit on FTX. So Zoo, $3 billion loss from borrowing lending, right? And Alex Mashidi of Celsius, $2.8 billion. So when things start to get centralized and people get more influential and starting to tweet a lot more, that's when, you know, like you want your founder to be tweeting every single day of the week, and you want them to be working and building on the engineering of engineering side, the technical side and the coder side. So those are going to be our new sort of leaders. Things like your chain links, you can say Polygon sort of phase. Polygon had a bunch to say about the recent debacle and how DeFi is sort of taking up the steam. If I can give you one quote from Matic, will be serious. So like one person, Ashwarya Gupta, like she's the DeFi chief of staff at Polygon, right? So Matic. Can I make this statement? It's going to take a minute, but I think it's interesting.
We are in no rush, brother. Absolutely.
Cool. So this is her statement. Yeah, this is her sort of in an interview. She said this thing: DeFi-centric platforms simply cannot fall victim to shady business practices because of code is law for them. So the programming language is the biggest law that basically sort of governs the smart contract, their tokens. Clearly, users realize it as well, right? People are getting educated. In the wake of FTX implosion, Uniswap flipped Coinbase to become the second largest platform for trading Ethereum after Binance, right? So that's a big statement coming from Polygon, saying Uniswap has flipped Coinbase. As decentralized platforms are run by auditable and transparent smart contracts instead of people, right? Now you talked about Sartek. You know, we talked about auditors. Like when a token gets launched, like, you know, white hackers are involved. Everyone like really crucifies the smart contract. It goes through a lot of iteration, a lot of audit to see if it sort of bulletproof. This is something that your FTX centralized exchanges didn't have to go through. They just launched their app and people would just buy crypto from it. So yeah, I'll continue. Are run by auditable and transparent smart contracts instead of people. There is simply no way for corruption or mismanagement to enter the equation. That's what DeFi does, Atlas. And that's why, like, I'm pretty bullish that the next run of sort of funding, and you can say run of sort of dApps, ones like ours, are all going to be built on DeFi. And it starts with the exchange. It starts with the Uniswaps. It starts with your sushi swaps and starts with pancake swaps, Binance. And those are the volumes I'd like to see in the next few months really increase. So we started to see real surges from Uniswap. So it should sort of delve into all the other ones as well. So yeah, looking forward. But what do you make of that statement from the lady at Polygon?
No, it's just showing that transparency that the smart contracts are bringing is really what needs to happen. We don't need government involved. We need the technology. We need Web3, and we need the transparency that's there provided for us. So it's a natural progression, man. And that's going to, I think, build a lot of investor interest in DeFi and bring a whole other base of security, transparency that the folks that are already here are really demanding.
Absolutely. Accountability and audits should be standard procedures for all investors. Due diligence is a nature part of the business. That's just a big sort of quote for me, and that's what DeFi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And look, you've seen this game happen so many times in traditional finance with these auditors. ING, KPMG, like they're giving ratings to securities and bonds and corporations that are their own clients that are paying them right for these ratings, and time and time again they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And it just doesn't make any real logical sense how, you know, the company that's auditing and they're charging millions of dollars, they have, you know, so many staff that's actually working on that client to go through their processes, how they're just going to be completely impartial and fair, and you know, a lot of times really expose the truth. So you're seeing the, you know, with the mortgage backed security products, you know, the ratings that they were giving out, and it was all just a bunch of, you know, garbage, trash, and they were giving it some amazing ratings. And how many people got hurt in that? You know, it just happens over and over again. But it's very easy to come over here to crypto, and there's some folks that haven't conducted themselves ethically and been transparent, and you know, you see it not just here, but so many other places. So, you know, you see the banks, money laundering. There was a bank a couple years ago that was just, you know, stealing money from their customers right out of their accounts, you know, pennies, but, you know, pennies from hundreds of millions of customers really adds up. And then, you know, they get the slap on the wrist over and over again. You don't see anyone go to jail ever.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we have all this stuff on blockchains, right, and you have the transparency and accountability that's there, it could really alleviate, you know, a lot of this, you know, like fraudulent behavior that's just on so many different levels and scales, all the way up to the central bank, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, centralization. Like you just put it in the coffin, central banks. So yeah, like it just we need to overcome these flaws and sort of the fragment of sort of the, you know, these banks, these institutes and stuff, and to see like even JP Morgan and stuff to, like, you know, admit that, yeah, DeFi needs high investments. It needs, because that's where the utility is. It makes it so much easier to the basic. It's a smart contract basically, is doing a bunch of, you know, the moments of, you know, withdrawal and doing all the functionalities, and you can go to Block Explorer and be able to see it in a transparent form. That's what people want. It's what we want with our banking reserves. And so it's pretty good that like you have like sort of Binance going up and showing their treasury reserves and going public about it. It's not been done before. OKX are doing it, and these are like sort of small sort of hints that's the sort of way people benefit, and it's a good encouragement for accountability. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Couldn't agree with you more, brother. Absolutely. Does anyone have a comment about this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the folks are on the barbecue grill, you know,
No,
turning
I'm just
over the.
I'm just writing stuff down. I'm just writing down. I mean, I look forward to these conversations with Z. I mean, I feel like I'm a little smarter every time I get off the podcast with him, with writing things down and tidbit information. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it should be. It should be like where a good dialogue, a good person comes in. We have, you know, a good conversation on the Matrix port, on Save Earth, like all these sort of projects that are like taking up interest. We have to see what they're doing great, and how their audits are going, and that's the sort of conversations that we take real notes on. And like what I appreciate is like after I'll do a talk, like the team gets DM'd. I get DM'd with sort of an interest from all of you. So no, I appreciate that, and we should continue doing that. Like it should be a fabric of our nature that whenever we do a podcast, we learn something about APYs. We learn something about how institutes sort of change and what they're sort of adapting to, because there's a bunch of stuff happening in the background, and And like as I said, Matrix Port to put in, you can say $5 to $7 billion of monthly volume in. That's encouraging that they've created a solution for folks to just download the app, and that's what we're doing at ARK. So that's why we're here, just showing that these things are like encouraging signs that we can put billions of dollars, we can become institutionalized in a way where the normal customer, like here they serve 40 countries, right? And DeFi, I would say, serves the whole world. If basically you're able to just get something like MetaMask and be able to use it. So very encouraging stuff. And so Matrix Port, Realtor, do keep an eye on them. And also the other thing when it comes to sort of saving nature and natural reserves, this is something Atlas is very passionate about. So when a project is working with landowners and trying to reserve our crops and creating earning mechanisms with their sort of adapt, that is really encouraging things. And like look into it. Soon we're gonna have organic stores like we have in Switzerland. We were talking about it yesterday, where they are taking crypto payments and they sell real good organic food and crops and so those are the kind of things sorry.
Yep. I actually looked at that today, Z. I got the zip code from Mr. Green, and I was able to access the website. But I was out and about when I didn't have the conversation, so I couldn't delve in more. And he had some questions too regarding how the system is working. But he's heard about the store before. He says it's very, very expensive. But the whole component. Do you remember from that how much they raised when? And you mentioned some profit sharing that they were offering the investors, and is that closed?
I think it continues. I think you're able to, like, when you buy off crypto, they offer you the you can say the extra incentive of putting some funds towards their ecosystem. So it's something I need to look into for sure. I've got some folks in Switzerland that can look into it, but I think that's very. Imagine like a Whole Foods or something in America, like places where DeFi makes it more affordable for people to get their their vitamins and get their sort of aubergine and like more sophisticated sort of foods and nutrients. And I think that's what sort of Switzerland and sort of Scandinavia you're going to hear is going to do a bunch of that. So yeah, places like Norway, Sweden, you're going to see more of these sort of grocery stores, and then where people in villages and sort of other rural areas want the same thing. So yeah, DeFi is going to do that. So the more these companies look into using the smart contract and create an exchange of swaps on BUSD, USDT, maybe that becomes the global currency and the new normal, where I compare crops with you, and we basically we purchase both in USDT or BUSD or USDC, whatever the stable is. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, there's encouraging signs. So I think we're gonna see more of that as we get into through the Christmas time, through the New Year's. You're gonna hear more sort of stories about that. These kind of stores flock on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The other thing I have news is more social influencer type. So I don't want to speak more about it, but the Miami nightclubs are missing the crypto nerds because a bunch of promotion took place. Like Miami became a place where a lot of like tables were booked and a lot of like promotional stuff happened. So people speculate like where are the crypto nerds gone, and a bunch of them sort of are working on the next use case. So I found that a bit funny when I read that from like it was Financial Times spoke about it. So what they say, so this is interesting, right? So what they say is the new sort of like retailer is they've had more crypto wallets payments than they had fiat in Miami, which is super interesting.
They mentioned Live Club by any chance? Because I know that
I believe so.
doing
Live,
the what?
Live, 11. There's a few clubs that were mentioned. Yeah, I need
They
to
got
find
caught
out.
up in the situation with a token on ETH, and I know that some of those big influencers, like that woman that everybody knows, and I won't mention her name, but yeah, that turned out to blow up in their face. And the owner of that club, he was involved, and I remember people had paid for the their entrances for the big launch, and then the launch didn't happen. Man, it got ugly. So they've been through a couple of difficult situations, related to crypto, but in comparison to all the other things they did and profited from them. And I understand they're missing the love from the crypto folks right now.
There's one place, you spell it this way, E11EVEN 11. I think SG would have a funny name. But
That's
11.
Space 11. Yeah, it's a wild place. I can tell you that. A very, very, very wild place. Has a 24-hour liquor license in downtown Miami, so they stay open pretty much forever. And it's a combination of like adult sort of entertainment and nightclub, which is really weird concept in my opinion. It's been very, very successful for them, and they come from a background of the Las Vegas Strip and doing business over there. So yeah, they took downtown Miami by storm. No doubt about it.
Miami, Dade County, they have their own crypto coin on that end. So that's one of the only. I think that's the only county. I mean, there's legislative in Florida law that prohibits the transaction of cryptocurrency, but unless you have a money servicing license. But they actually do. The city or county there in Miami, they actually created a crypto coin. I think it's MIA or something. I can't think of what the coin is. I don't know. Cointel Logic or something has it. But that's pretty interesting.
It's a big program, and they've actually raised a lot of funds for social projects, infrastructure as well. Quite fascinating. The mayor of Miami is super bullish on crypto and had a lot to do with that. He gets paid in his salary.
That's cool. There are several high-end pubs and restaurants and bars that you actually invest. You buy an NFT, and that NFT gets you into a VIP area. It gets you into several other different things. How sometimes you have the little bonus rewards card when you go to the grocery stores. Well, now they're incorporating that type of theme, but in an NFT, a value. So you pay for that, and it unlocks certain events at different established businesses and things like that. So that's kind of neat. That's another way NFT is getting into the space that way.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that. A lot of sense.
Steve.
Yeah, I mean that does. I mean, it makes sense. You think because it's easy to do, and that way it's just a way to incorporate an NFT into your business on that end. To have I don't know how the logistics would work on that, but I thought it was very interesting when I heard of several businesses doing that, and that's what you would. And the value. I mean, they only mint so many of them. And you have that, and you could sell them, or like you could any other type of NFT. But it's just businesses are just getting so creative, and the way they're incorporating DeFi and crypto with it. I mean, it's just a matter of time before it just explodes. I mean, it's insane. I'm just glad to be in this space where we're at right now.
Absolutely. Listen, man, like if I was in Miami visiting, and there's a place that does sort of trapeze dancing and burlesque shows, and they're taking money in crypto, and that too on ERC20, then I would rather pay in crypto and see the show. So what they say is last year they put $6 million in crypto through transactions. And I think that's the new normal. I think we're going to soon be, paying in crypto and not having to take out fiat. And 11 is sort of the first sort of idea of NFT launches and how to create a club protocol. And I'd call it a club DAO and be able to create memberships and all sorts of like, you can say earning mechanisms as well. So like 11 is one club that's really looking into it. They've had like this year they had 50 Cent perform and Travis Scott and I want to hear more of that kind of stuff. I know I'm not into the nightlife, but it's encouraging to see that's going to be the new normal. And not just nightlife. I want to see that happen with like sort of concert halls. If me and Atlas want to go to see Kanye West or someone big, Travis Scott, perform, we should be doing it through DeFi and doing it through the DAO. So yeah, I'm looking forward. So the hospitality side of Miami is super like crypto friendly, and that could create the same atmospheres in Europe, in Spain, in France, in England, and I look forward to that.
I had shared with the group a couple of weeks ago, and you had showed some interest in it. That company called Proppy down in South Florida that actually have been brokering the sale of properties by transferring the ownership into an LLC and then transferring the LLC into connecting with the NFT. And they've brokered probably half a dozen properties successfully over the last year on that end. And that's just another innovative way to show where, cryptocurrency is breaking into a lot of different industries now on that end.
Absolutely. It'll be like, I think the future when people are looking to buy property, it's going to be an NFT. And Proppy, I looked like quite into it. I haven't signed up to them. And even though I'm not located in the US, I'm going to have people look into this. This is pretty innovative, that you can, like, what I would tell, like if I was like if I was able to like click with the guy at Proppy, I'll tell him to create like a sandbox environment, a metaverse, right? And because he's got the NFTs, he's got the fundings, they've got a really good team. But if they're able to create a sort of sandbox environment and allow anyone from like Spain, Europe, anywhere in the world to crowdfund into it and then be able to use that property, that's a big use case. It would resolve a bunch of, like, if you had like the smart contract sorting out things like leasing, mortgaging, renting, and also buying ownership, because what we've learned from like sort of Miami is a lot of people, like these young sort of folks that become wealthy, they're not getting mortgages out anymore. They're paying everything in cash. They convert their Ethereum and BTC into fiat, and then like wholesale buy these things for like $400,000 to like $1 million to $2 million, and that's encouraging. And we can do this. So yeah, Proppy is a really good use case. Labs is another good use case. So yeah, I look forward to it.
Let's get to crypto. Bright future, guys. Happy days ahead. Folks at DeFi, I think that we're going to be able to really grow through the bear market.
A digital certificate. It's something different. So if you have a NFT on Proppy, you basically so they're saying that they're working on a metaverse. Isn't that fascinating, Realtor?
I'm sorry, Z. I only caught a little bit of that. It was breaking up on me.
Oh, the Matrix is glitching me again, Atlas. I cannot talk anymore.
No. That was my end. My end.
No worries. So yeah, I'm just reading this. I think it's super interesting. So this might sound boring, but I want to read this. So Proppy makes purchasing a real property NFT fast and easy because their marketplace was developed specifically to support these. So that's one thing that they currently do. So you can connect your MetaMask and actually, like, through USDC. Yeah, that's the sort of currency for NFT sales, NFTs, and you can go as little as like you can say 0.2 ETH for their coins, and really think like I'm just going through their like interactive, the 4-minute video. Yeah, and these are things that like that sort of really get me excited, because if one place like Miami, as a super city like that, can do it, and then that gives the blueprint to like all the other smart cities around the world, and maybe Propi could be the one that sort of goes into from Miami and Florida into sort of Barcelona or to Cannes or Monaco in France. That's how we start. This is the start. So legally, whoever has possession of the NFT owns the property. So what that does, it sort of breaks away all the sort of KYC issues. I think property, if someone from like let's say Serbia, right, wants to buy property in America, they like how much KYC you have to go through, and if the blockchain can sort of approve their validation and give them authenticity, that means more people are going to buy into property, and the NFT can do that. But I also want to see like sort of my vision, right, of sort of a real estate is like sort of a metaverse land that you enter into, and then you go and you find properties there and navigate it through you can say a near pathway, and get to see it in visual form, click on that, and then that sort of pops out and shows you how many bedrooms the property has, what's it interconnected with, and all its sort of backgrounds. And so a lot of smart cities are going to be built that way. I think Neom, that's being built in Saudi Arabia, is going to be the first sort of Westworld type of singular look type of society. And I feel that everyone's going to have a wallet that they connect to when it comes to their transport or flats or houses. Why can't Propi from like Propi be part of that, right? So yeah, good times. I do this, man. Like I'll talk and then I'll move away from like the ARK conversation, but I don't think you mind, Atlas, when we go on these rabbit holes.
Not at all. Look, we're all investors here, and we want to understand what's happening, what's good and what's bad, and what's changing in the whole space. We love ARK, and we're here to talk about ARK over everything and anything. But I think we're also here to grow as investors, and knowledge is such a powerful tool. So that's why you're here, man. That's why you're invited, and we want folks to come and learn, and also contribute, bring their points of view and anything they've seen out there that is of interest in any of those categories.
So while you say those words, yeah, Propi has a learn to earn initiative, and it's pretty profitable. So I'm just on their website, just reading on that, how to get started there. They have a crypto enabled app, and you can basically get like, so Propi has pro tokens, right? So you can buy a bunch of pro tokens and lock them up and earn rewards. Encouraging stuff.
Yeah, you could also like on a real estate side like myself, they have a course that they offer. It's $497 to go through a cryptocurrency course on how from A to Z on transferring the NFT and go from NFT and the whole process. And then you get a certificate and you get to list. I list some properties on their site anyways right now. So it's just another way to learn some cryptocurrency and learn about that and get a little accreditation certificate that they offer as well, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I'm reading that right now. So it's pretty nice. Like you basically, it's a certified course for $497, and basically you pass this, and then you have some real knowledge in the game. Dude, I think I'm becoming a real estate developer, Alice.
Brett actually, and something that we're working on here, he proposed into that business format of having an education module and having a financial reward for the folks that went through it and completed it. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Brett.
Yeah, sure. That was just a concept. Coinbase does that too. When they introduce new tokens or they want to highlight new tokens, they pay you out a reward as you go through kind of a tutorial, and then you answer some questions. This would obviously be be a little bit more comprehensive, but also educate them on not just, general crypto DeFi stuff, but then move them into, the different areas of ArkFi and the different investment opportunities and things inside the protocol. But yeah, that's one of our keys. As you go out into the non-crypto world, we're going to have that. Obviously, there's a lot of community members that are experts in doing that, and still the hand-holding process and everything should get a lot less as we integrate more into the mobile app and even our DApp on this end for on-ramping fiat and things like that. But once they're in, and they've even made a small investment, then we're going to want to educate them further, and then make them into experts that then can go out and educate someone else, and that's how you get the network effect. So yeah, that's the high level plan anyway.
Amazing. Yeah, of course, should be done. And then you basically, it's good, man. Like when you go through a course, or you go through, I've been through courses, and when I like funded accounts, Atlas knows that I've been through, like you learn a lot by this. So realtor, are me and you becoming agents? Am I becoming a certified real estate developer with you doing this course?
100%. 100%. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's get this crypto, educated crypto.
Let's get this real estate crypto.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. No, we honestly that's the thing. Like this space, soon when we're like more established, we're gonna have like hundreds of folks in a conversation, 200 folks in a conversation, and there's always gonna be one person that has the network effect, and someone will say, "Yeah, I've experienced real estate," or "I've experienced the NFT." Like we've had that in a previous group where a random individual just unmutes their mic and says, "Yes, I've purchased my first property using Bitcoin," and then another one sort of unmuted the mic and said, "Yeah, I bought it through a NFT on ERC20." And you're like, "Wow, that's pretty interesting." And those are the folks that have been through there, the whole hurdle of it. And we need more of those sorts of spontaneous moments where you learn about something. So Proppy, I appreciate you bringing Proppy up, and I'm sure there's others that are doing something really close. So we should keep an eye and see what they do best, and then as we sort of build it out here at ARK, and we'll have voters vote on the sort of establishment they want. Do they want badges? Do they want to be certified? And that's a really like you can say important aspect to DeFi. Coinbase have courses. Binance has sort of a bunch of material. But yeah, I look forward to that kind of stuff, man. Like we should encourage that. Nothing but go on.
It's if you have the ARK here, which is the foundation that starts, and the investors come, and as things evolve, you have these different branches of the ARK that you can invest into. The MetaMask, you have a real estate area where you can invest in if that's something that you want to invest in that can work around the DeFi. Or then you have, like, if it's precious metals or natural gas commodities or something you're looking at. I mean, there's a way to incorporate all that, so you go into one foundation, one group that's got professionals in the top of their game in each one of these industries that's been incorporated, that have opened their arms to DeFi and cryptocurrency, to where now you could come in through one group and have a one-on-one with these professionals in these areas that can help with your investment and see if it's something that works for you or not. I mean, I just see the whole big picture here.
Absolutely. The cool thing with the Proppy thing, I'll keep mentioning Proppy. I should give more sort of examples, but here I'm seeing that they have instructors. So when you basically sign up to their course, it's a 12 to 15 hour commitment. Not hard to stretch out, but you have an instructor that sort of works with you. You have you have a bunch of online material. So people, like if I'm in Dubai or Spain or anywhere, I can just open up my MacBook and be able to plug in and learn and be in contact with the instructor and be in a classroom. And so yeah, I like the sort of so it's like you have the choice of going from like beginners to expert. So there's sort of attributes there to really accomplish Yeah, no, I want to see it. Thing is, I want this to be done on everything, right? Like, so we talk about property and real estate. I want it to be done in sort of banking modules. Like one thing that property are doing, they teach you about the IBM Hyper Ledger, right? This is something, if you guys want to look into, IBM is working in DeFi imminently, like with institutional stuff. So here, you learn about hyperledgers, and that puts you into another learning curve as a career change, and you learn about how hyperledgers work with, you can say, all the other industries like retail, manufacturing, and also like, and say, like as we say here, like land ownership. Like the land ownership is something I'm super interested in, where you buy like a few acres, or you crowdfund into super acres of land that's not tapped into. And then right there, you start to see properties get built, a sort of smart city type lifestyle, where people have all their sufficient stores across the garden. and and you build that. So yeah, like it starts with small steps like this, and then it builds into like a metaverse of opportunities. um the other thing that I think learning wise, I've been sort of delving into, if any of you are graphics designers, or you've built a bit of, like, done some work, try to build as a metaverse. So like Monaverse is something I'd say people, like, they're offering you free signups, where you sign up and then you build your sort of metaverse reality. So maybe later on, in the start of 2024, I sort of delve into that a little bit and learn how to build the environment. And that's where, like, we can learn quite a bit. The Monaverse is pretty nice. It's not 2D. It's sort of like, it's got good graphics to it, and a bunch of, you can say, tools to create architecture, like build really cool rooms and sort of environments, and then also cities. So you can build a whole metaverse city, and ARK should have its own metaverse city. That'd be pretty cool, where people, like just like the high streets in Europe, you can basically go into a franchise, the ARK Bank, and then right there you sort of stake up your tokens. Then you go into the grocery store and you buy some NFT sort of farms, or like there's like multiple things that sort of the metaverse opens up that way. So yeah, just an idea above my head, and we can learn about it. I think next time I'm sort of doing a podcast here, we'll talk a little bit about Monaverse, and we'll also talk about Matrix Port a little bit. I think these are things to take an interest in.
And there's something I actually want to bring up. I think I've talked about it here before. Um, my wife's family's from Russia, and we're able to send them crypto using a website that's over there, and we can load up a credit card, a debit card, or any bank account within less than 1 minute using USDT, BNB, USDC. It is so seamless. It is so fast, and it's so logical. And it just shows that all this red tape and regulations that they have, us under, um, is it's really hindering a lot of, I think the growth that we could have, especially when you see a system so robust and fine tuned like that. The technology is there. We know that. We know Jack Ma with Stripe. There's a lot of amazing technology. So in the spirit of that, I read into an article where just a couple of days ago, President Putin from Russia called for blockchain-based international payment systems. So I have a quote here that I'll share with you guys. And this is in a conference that happened in Moscow on the 24th. The technology of digital currencies and blockchains can be used to create a new system of international settlements that will be much more convenient, absolutely safe for its users, and most importantly, will not depend on banks or interference by third countries. I am confident that something like this will certainly be created and will develop, because nobody likes the dictate of monopolists, which is harming all parties, including the monopolists themselves. Very interesting.
Wow.
during these times. But that's it. Blockchain technology, smart
The
contracts.
yeah, I'm just
Mhm.
looking. It's expensive.
You're you're going in the
I'm kind
matrix
of,
again.
oh no. Okay, no worries. I think I'm done for today, guys. Thank
You're
you.
back. You're back.
Am I back?
It caught up. You're fine.
No
Yeah.
worries. So here, the existing system of international payments is expensive. This is Putin's words. The system of its correspondent accounts and regulations are controlled by a narrow club of states and financial groups. Amazing, amazing.
I mean, it's just bad timing, as they say.
Sure.
Whenever he's, um, looking at him, but I don't know if you'll see this in the main, regular media, CNN. They want to talk about other things, but on this one, I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely, man. Like there's a lot of like intellect there to learn from. I think there's too many of these sorts of, like, you can say, these sorts of blockades to international payments, because like if you want to go through, let's say, an international payment in the developing world, you have to basically go through a bunch of custodials, man. You got to go through and get verified and verified and verified. And if they don't verify you, then it becomes hard for the sorts of locals to do international payments there. So yeah, for Putin to talk about it, because he's in the thick of things, right? Like he's been through blockades and a bunch, and like Putin is, like, Russia is one example, but like blockades exist in Africa, blockades exist in a lot of Southeast Asia as well. So if crypto can sort of sort that out, and what that does is it brings more GDP to the economy. And we know that when countries go through high GDP, they become smart cities, and people sort of flock there, and not just live there, but live through sort of investment opportunities, through property, to real estate, through business ledgers. So yeah, farming could be in other places as well, but yeah, it needs the international payment thing. Hopefully, DeFi can figure that and make it easy and accessible, and we don't have to go through so many layers of. We don't have to join the club to basically do a transaction at a high level. So yeah, super interesting.
Yes, sir. Any questions or comments? All right, folks. Well, we've been here for about 2 hours in tonight's podcast. We're going to be back tomorrow, and we'll be in contact earlier as there's a lot of updates and developments. We will be announcing 2 AMAs that we're going to be going and participate in as we rally the troops. We continue with our last round. We are currently at 524 sold NFTs out of 800. So moving in the right direction there. And I believe as we go and have some of these AMAs, those folks are going to come and pick up these NFTs so we can get organized and ready for continuing our process here, our staggered sequence launch schedule. So we're going to be posting that officially here. We've already said it yesterday at the TGM protocol after yesterday's AMA, and we're going to be providing all the full details for all of you folks. So thank you for everyone that came, spent time with us, especially Engine Gold for coming in at the beginning, having a chat with us, asking some very important questions. And I know you're surrounded with a lot of folks that are very interested in ARK, and not everyone's the type of person that I'll sit there and read a white paper many times, and even then, there are some questions, and we want everyone to really have up-to-date information. That's why we're here every single night. And if it's something that somebody doesn't know, just have them come on by or send a question through the chat. For the folks that were not here or listen to this at a later time, thank you for participating by listening to the podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. And guys, let's keep moving forward. Let's get this crypto. And it's going to be a very, very exciting week. We're very proud with the work that's being done. And I think that you guys will be fairly impressed with the quality of what we're putting in front of you. Have a great night. We're going to hang out here for a couple more minutes. We can go ahead and close the recording.